The Ground Improvement Program highlights one of the most important strategic contributions that the Earthquake Commission can make. It's a truly international collaboration, and it has involved everything from the engineering professionals, the experts in the science, right through to the homeowners themselves in the local communities. It's contributing not only to, I think, a renewed confidence in recovery in those parts of Christchurch that were affected by liquefaction, but it's going to contribute to world practice.
We're taking experimental science and working in parallel with real-life construction, and what knowledge gained from this whole process is going to have benefits for decades to come, both within New Zealand and overseas.
Although we had a general understanding of liquefaction prior to the Canterbury earthquake sequence, we were documenting the worst examples of liquefaction ever seen in an urban setting.
It's quite a scary phenomenon to get in your head that the ground I'm standing on could actually turn to porridge effectively during a big earthquake.
EQC, in its mandate to deliver research and education, we're always working very closely with sector professionals, scientists, engineers, consenting officials in councils, and bringing together that expertise within a very practical context. And for us, that was an ability to understand what had happened to the land and what would need to be done to the land to reinstate housing, or indeed to retire housing from certain areas. We didn't want to put people back in harm's way. When we embarked on this work, we were applying techniques that had really only been used on a large scale in big infrastructure projects, large scale engineering works. So we've adapted these techniques to an urban and suburban setting. We know now how to apply them to residential housing, and we have advanced the science of liquefaction assessment worldwide. The amount of information that has been collected to inform an understanding of Christchurch soils and their engineering properties, that will benefit the Christchurch City Council, but it will have as much benefit in other parts of New Zealand that have potential liquefaction problems, and we will be working with local government to share that.
So one of the unique things about this project was the science trials were running pretty much in parallel with the construction trials, just because there was such urgency to get some good information to make some real benefit to the recovery process. There's lots of innovations, lots of things were tried, and some were very successful, some were not so successful, but that's all part of what this project was about, getting real life data, doing some real life experiments to find out what really was best and not just rely on hearsay and gut feeling.
Our key findings from this work are that there are cost-effective techniques that can be used to stiffen the soil in areas where there is a high potential for severe liquefaction, and where these techniques are used, we can offer a better range of options for construction and better outcomes for earthquake performance. We've worked very closely with New Zealand's building regulator, that's the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, and already they have incorporated the results of this program of work into a revision of the ground improvement sections of the residential repair guidelines. It now forms the basis for consentable design and construction practice, and it's a great example of world-leading science informing engineering and construction practice. And it's fair to say that we've not only learned how to adapt in that community, but those lessons learned will be played out around the world.
This has been one of the highlights of my career. Everyone's been fantastic. All the designers, EQC, all the insurers, they've all come into this project with a fantastic mindset, and that is let's do all we can to help the recovery, help get people back on their feet, and make sure that whatever ground improvements or foundations they build are going to be more robust and give much higher levels of performance.
It is gratifying to have had the opportunity to work with the community in a way to bring methods forward that are evidence-based, that inform policy, that are cost-effective and are effectively sustainable. I think we are giving the community, through the results of this work, confidence that they can rebuild, and they can rebuild in a more resilient way.